Not anything anybody was going to notice in court.
For me, it's deja vu. You wore it at the first trial. The day Biamonte skipped the country.
You really noticed?
Mm-hmm.
I'm flattered.
Don't be. You're lucky I don't judge a man by his tie.
I know I'm lucky.
Item 6, federal investigation into local meat handling practices. Illegal sales of inferior pork bellies have been traced to,
Corner of Decker and 125th. I know her, Sarge.
Anyway, Mick Belkler is working an undercover at Torloff's packing plant, coordinating with people from the health department. Item 7, the retrial of Al Biamonte begins in earnest today. Now, just like with those Nazis, this mafia kingpin thought he could skip out on justice. But even though it took 7 years, they got him. He's been extradited from Palermo. The captain is testifying against him today. Item 8 relates in so much as Lieutenant Hunter takes station command in the captain's absence. Last item. If you can sing, if you can dance, if you can play an instrument, tell jokes, juggle, do magic, you ought to sign up for the PBA Dependents Fund Amateur Night. Now, people, the Hill and the Heights are responsible for raising this money for the widows and the orphans. So if you got any talent, for heaven's sake, get out there tonight and flaunt it, because we want to have a great show. Huh? Okay, that's all I got. Let's move. Stop them from getting away out there.
See, it's not just the voice. It's what the singer does with the words of the song. It's called phrasing.
Phrasing, yes, Sarge. Yeah.
Listen, in reference to this talent thing I've been hearing about, I'm not the kind of guy who blows his own horn, but people tell me I'm kind of funny.
You mean jokes?
Yeah, I got some great ones.
I don't know, Lieutenant. There's going to be wives and kids at this thing.
Hey, listen, Stan, I'm not talking about that kind of stuff. I mean, the harmless things, you know, like Polish jokes.
God bless America. You know, see, now that's real boring, but now listen to this. God bless America, land that I love. Now, I have just taken a standard song and imbued it with phrasing that makes it distinctly
no question.
Stand beside.
With regard to press inquiries that might come regarding the Biamonte trial, we have no comment, Howard. Any press releases come out of division. Well, I just want to give you the final assurance that during my brevet of command that I shall do everything I can to maintain the continuum of order. I'm not worried, Howard.
Morning, Frank, Irwin, Henry. Did we get it all? 17 pieces of physical evidence are on the way from the vaults at Farmingdale. And statement, friends? Complete and up to date.
Gentlemen, take you back, Frank. 7 years. Considering what I read in this morning's paper, this case could be a couple of rungs on your ladder. How about it? You planning on some extra mileage from Biamonte?
What are you referring to now?
The current rumor has finally made it into print. Today's editorial page describes you as a viable candidate for mayor.
I've said before, I've been approached by some people. I haven't agreed to run for anything.
Of course not. And he whines that we play the press.
Hey, it's Daniel. Excuse me, Chief Daniel.
Mr. Biamonte claims the charges against him will be invalidated by the statute of limitations.
It's ridiculous. The statute does not run when you flee the country to avoid prosecution.
He also says the passing of time has diminished the importance of this case.
Captain widow of Officer Corelli
will enhance your prospects.
He's the man accused of ordering the murder of their father.
I heard a shot. Look out!
That's not all of you. For God's sake, all the paramedics. My God.
We don't have a choice. We've got to go inside and fast.
I'm going to call his wife.
God, yes. She mustn't hear it on the news.
What can I tell her?
I can't make any prognosis. It's minute by minute.
Officer, let me use your VHF.
Dispatch? Chief Daniel, I've got a code 11. Patch me through the captain's capiz.
Yes, very urgent. No, I don't want anyone taking a message to her. I got to talk to her myself. She's in court.
We don't know yet, Gene. It looks bad. I want round-the-clock guards on him. There's no question in my mind. And there's a good chance he could try again.
Hey, Luce, you gotta help me. I can't do half my tricks. I can't do the rabbits. I can't do the doves. I can't do the sword in the box. I need an assistant.
All right. But I'm not wearing black tights. Got it?
All units, we have a reported shooting of police officer at the municipal courts building.
Yeah, do we have the officer's name?
Captain Furillo.
Oh, boy.
There are countless errors in translation and a total confusion of the facts. I would therefore ask the court that this document be stricken from use.
Ms. Davenport, the bailiff has just handed me a note. You have an emergency phone call from a Lieutenant Henry Goldblum.
You shot the chief of police?
No, it was the other guy. Furillo. Right in front of the court. Sniper.
Hey, pick up your pig. Nobody drops meat around here.
You crazy?
It's believed a man on the roof of the courthouse fired the shot which struck Captain Furillo. Early reports coming into our newsroom are still under.
Oh, no.
We take you now to a live report.
Any increase in blood pressure?
Up 3 and holding.
Rib spreader. Now, a bunch of people are going to want to rush right down there, so we're going to have to work out a system of shifts by twos and according to roster.
Yes.
Now, I'm going to pass the word to discourage individual phone calls to the hospital. Now, that's just going to tie things up. I'll be checking with the doctors, and I'll be posting bulletins. Is that okay?
Yes.
Now, a lot of people are going to want to donate blood. So, well, you know, help make up what the hospital puts out. So I'm going to be checking blood types. Anybody that matches the captain's going to go first. case they need direct donors. Hey, you okay, Lieutenant?
No.
What's the matter?
I just can't see the thing straight.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I'm fighting to keep on track myself. But we gotta take care of things. Can't let him down.
Yes. You're right, Sergeant. Thank you.
Section.
What percent O2 is he on?
70%. Follow my finger down. That's good. Sailing. This is a mess down here. What's his blood pressure?
63.
Damn.
I'm Mrs. Farillo. How is he?
Still in surgery.
It's been almost an hour.
What happened? The radio said it was a sniper on the roof of the courthouse.
Somebody shot from the crowd with a silenced gun. It couldn't have been more than 5 feet.
We don't know that.
I heard it.
I know the sound of a silenced gun. I didn't hear it. I was next to him, closer than we are right now. I promise, I swear to you, we'll get whoever did this.
Dr. Mendelson, this is Captain Frillo's wife.
I'll come right to the point. Captain Farillo has suffered severe injury to the vascular system surrounding the heart and is in a deep state of shock. Now, we have repaired the damage as much as possible, but there is still some internal seepage of blood.
Is he going to live?
To a great extent, his survival will depend on the strength of his system and his own will. Over the next 8 or 9 hours, hopefully he'll stabilize and then we'll know more.
Hello, Mr. Davenport.
Lieutenant Bunce? I don't think you're supposed to be here.
Yeah, I know. I had to tell the doctors I was from the medical examiner's office. But I got something I want to say to you, and I think maybe it's kind of important. I mean, I know everybody's expressing their sympathies, and that's all fine. But I figure at a time like this, it might be better to hear something positive.
Something positive.
I'm remembering back to when I first met the captain, and you don't necessarily give the impression that he could tough it through an ordeal like this. You know, you're shot in the chest, looks pretty bad. Look, maybe I don't know the man as long as everybody else, but I know what's inside the guy, and this ain't gonna stop him. No, I'm not just giving you an opinion here, Miss Davenport. This is something I know. It's like a sixth sense. I've always had it. And he's going to be okay.
You sure?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't have bothered you like this if I wasn't absolutely certain. And also, I feel the more people that have my kind of positive attitude, well, I think it helps the captain.
Helps me.
Good. Look, I'm sure you got a lot of people you'd call first, but if there's ever anything I can do.
Thank you.
Hello?
lost my home and dislocated my wife and family. It was this same kind of brutality that drove me out of this country in the first place. My own life has been threatened. I know what it's like. But whatever our differences, my prayers really go out to Furillo and his family.
So you had no connection with this shooting?
What, are you crazy? Of course not. I was 50 feet away. Do you think I'd be that stupid?
Now, do you hope for a mistrial at this point?
If there was any justice, I wouldn't be here in the first place. Take yourself back 7 years to when this all began. It's deliberate persecution.
Who has deliberately persecuted you? The cops. Cops are trying to make their careers persecuting an innocent man. That's all this case is about. I'll tell you another thing. An honest judge would throw the whole thing in the street.
Mrs. Furillo, these are Mr. Furillo's personal belongings. They were removed before surgery.
Thank you. Do you know if there's been any improvement?
I really can't say. You'll have to speak to Dr. Mendelson.
He'll be speaking on melanoma.
Notes on first day of testimony and trial of Biamonti and Leclerc. Exhibits 25 to 41 are transcribed recordings of conversations between undercover detectives DeVillo and Corelli and Jason Leclerc.
Lieutenant Furillo, is it not correct that you supervise all undercover work done by detectives Corelli and DeVillo?
Yes.
Then you are certainly aware that detectives Corelli and DeVillo approached Mr. Leclerc with a large amount of money. $10,000?
Yes, I am.
What was the purpose of approaching Mr. Leclerc with $10,000?
We had reason to believe that Jason Leclerc could arrange a narcotics purchase from Al Biamonti.
$10,000. Is that the usual amount for street dealers' purchase of drugs?
There is no usual amount.
Why did you offer such a large amount?
We wanted Mr. Leclerc to take our offer seriously.
Isn't that another way of saying you wanted to entice him?
Mr. Leclerc has a long history of transactions
That's
involving
not
narcotics
what
purchases,
I
and
asked.
we felt if you'll let me finish, I'll answer your
Mr.
question.
Leclerc's past offenses are not an issue in this trial, and were not part of my question.
You asked why we offered $10,000. I'm just trying to say that Mr. Leclerc's past offenses qualified him in our minds as a man experienced in the large-scale purchase of drugs.
And so to that end, Mr. Leclerc was offered a chance, enticed with $10,000 to commit a crime for which he is now standing trial.
That's not true.
Oh, no? Which part of it isn't true?
We did not entice him.
Let me ask you this. If your detectives had not given Mr. Leclerc $10,000, would the purchase of the drugs for which he is now being tried have been made?
I object. The question calls for speculation on the part of the witness.
Sustained.
The defense has no further questions, Your Honor.
You made it. I'd almost given you up.
Sorry, Evan. I had a long day.
I was getting so bored talking to would-be politicians and would-be kingmakers, I almost decided to run for something just to relieve my ennui.
How did they get in without a warrant?
Come on, Joyce. Can't have a bear baiting without the bears. I wonder who picks Furillo's ties.
Oh, cruel, Evan.
Just observing. Excuse me. Hi, how are you? And what about the victims?
Do you think that Miranda serves them with justice? Open your ears to the public. They're outraged.
Why can't you gentlemen come clean? It's got nothing to do with the victims. Your beef is with a law that makes it hard to bully and intimidate innocent people into self-incrimination.
You're wrong. In fact, I think the Miranda decision has improved police procedure. There's a problem with public perception when convicted criminals are routinely released on technicalities.
You're talking about maybe 2 or 3% of all the cases.
But those are the cases that are publicized, and then there's a backlash. The public demands a harder line in law enforcement.
And you wouldn't want that?
No, I wouldn't.
I need a drink.
We killed him. Sir?
Hello, Lieutenant. Champagne to wash down the counterfeit?
No, I don't drink.
Never? You may not have noticed, but this is a cocktail party. So what brings you here? Are you seeking office? Or are you simply a friend of man who is seeking office?
I came because the inspector invited me and because I was curious.
Is it all you expected?
And more.
What's the more?
You. Joyce!
I have to mingle.
I have an alarm clock.
But you never use it. Probably doesn't work.
We'll open the blinds and awaken with the dawn. It's spring. Birds will sing.
Not on the 11th floor.
Excuse me.
Evan.
What? It's Mr. Tax. Do you have some problem?
Well, excuse me for interrupting, but my car's blocked.
Are you okay?
I think so. You?
I don't believe this.
You were going the wrong way.
I had no choice. They closed the damn gate. Why didn't you honk your horn?
I don't think I can drive it.
I'm totally insured. Let me give you my agent's number. I'm really sorry about this.
Well, accidents happen. Thank you. Thank you.
How are you getting home?
Well, guess I'll grab a cab. It's pouring rain and it's the middle of the night. Shouldn't have any problem at all.
Where do you live?
Boylston Heights.
Way out there?
Well, I could probably find a cab over at the Cumberland Hotel.
Get in. I'll take you over. Change it if you want.
I listen to WNK.
Really?
Is there any reason why I shouldn't?
No, I was surprised, that's all. Do you play an instrument?
No. You?
I wish, but no.
Go to concerts?
Not as much as I'd like to. Do you?
Not for a while. 5 years. I'd like to start going again. I lied.
Lied about what?
I played the violin badly.
I won't tell. I sort of lied too.
Took ballet.
That's right. How'd you know?
Dancer's attitude. Shows.
Because I walk with my toes.
That and posture.
I quit at age 12.
Some things mark you for life.
Yes. Fortunately and unfortunately, some things do. No cabs.
Well, I can wait inside.
Suppose a cab doesn't come.
My tough luck. It's been enjoyable. Choice.
I really feel bad just dumping you here.
Well, you can come in and have a cup of coffee while I wait. Under the circumstances, the best I can offer.
Look, I don't live far from here. I suppose we could go to my apartment. I can make coffee. You can call a cab.
Right. Oh, wait.
What?
The cab just pulled up.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Oh, it's right there. Too bad.
I guess it's good night.
Thanks for the ride. See you in court.
Okay, Mr.
All right, your blood type matches Captain Frillo's, so you will qualify as a direct donor.
Good. Take all you need.
Flex your hand.
You sure I can't donate?
Not if you've had hepatitis.
Lady, that was 8 years ago.
I'm sorry. Just keep flexing your hand.
Tommy Velacci used to work for Biamonte.
Hey, that was years ago, man.
Yeah, but he might know something.
I'll get you some orange juice. Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. Is there any word?
Last I heard, conditions unchanged, still listed as grave.
Which is worse, grave or critical?
Nurse says grave's as bad as it gets.
Oh.
Stay here and rest for at least 20 minutes. If you feel sick or faint, call me.
Excuse me. My name is Laszlo. I called about donating blood for Captain Furillo.
You'll have to be typed to see if you qualify as a direct donor. If not, you can still donate blood in Captain Furillo's name.
Thank you.
Fill out this form. I'll be right with you.
Thank you.
You a friend of Captain Furillo's?
No, just a concerned cop.
Andrew Renko, Hill Street Station. I just want to tell you, I appreciate what you're doing very much.
Well, there isn't a cop in town that isn't pulling for him.
That's Farillo. Get a doctor's staff.
Wow, they're just gonna come out and get an ambu back in here.
Call Dr. Mendel.
I'll notify.
Get blood ready in surgery A. We'll transfuse as soon as we get there.
What happened?
He's hemorrhaging.
Let's go.
Surgery.
Move. OR3 is over. Blood in the last 10 minutes. OR2's available.
Blood pressure is 70 over. Take your pick.
I'll put him up. I'll get scrubbed.
Who's the anesthesiologist on call? Right here.
Union Memorial Hospital.
Hello, yes. I want to find out about a patient. Police Captain Francis Farillo.
Hey!
Not on my time, little man.
Oh, you don't understand. I got a sick relative.
Yeah, and I got 10 sides of beef waiting for a piggyback ride to the freezer. Now move it.
Mo, hey, I'm guaranteed 2 15-minute breaks.
And you ain't heard no buzzer. Now, when you hear the buzzer, that's when you make your call. Otherwise, you'll haul meat. Move.
Chickens here before they get processed. Let's go.
What is the count on this one?
Hold it right there.
Hey! Hey! Not that. Stuff you unload is in the other truck.
Clearly, there's an emotional issue here. I understand that.
Well, I'm not saying I should head the investigation, but people on the Hill should be involved.
We all want to be involved. Don't you know what I feel, seeing Frank shot down as I stood beside him? But this investigation, with all its inherent complexities, requires a certain level of expertise. What I'm gently trying to tell you is that this is out of your league. Gene?
Chief. Henry. I heard he's back in surgery.
It doesn't look good.
SID went over Farillo's clothes to determine the angle of entry. Judging from where he was standing on the steps, they figured the gun was fired from no more than 10 feet away. The guy must have been in the crowd.
Told you, I heard the shot.
I'm afraid to ask. He's back in surgery. An artery was so bad, the stitches wouldn't hold. They're going to replace it with a vein graft from his leg.
Does that mean he's going to be all right?
I just don't know, Faye.
Have you told his parents?
I spoke with his brother this morning, and he said he'd tell the others. I suppose I should call him back, but I was hoping I'd have something to tell him.
I wish I could wait with you, but I got Frank Jr. He's with my mother. He's waiting for me to come tell him. He loves his dad. He's gonna be so scared.
I know.
Would you tell my husband I'm here, please?
And you're here to see?
Lieutenant Farillo.
Oh, Faye. Oh, hi.
Here, Frank. Catch!
What is this?
It's your child support and alimony check. It bounced pretty good at the bank.
Listen, Faye.
No, you listen. I've heard every lie. I've heard every excuse.
I'm having a little problem with
You're having problems. I'm having problems, Frank. All my checks are coming back. Now, how do you think I'm going to feed and support and clothe your son? But maybe you think because you left, it's not your problem anymore.
Listen, could we go talk about this in my office? But I'll be just a minute.
Oh, you'd like that, wouldn't you, behind closed doors? Who is that?
She's an attorney.
She's your attorney?
Not my attorney. Could we talk in my office?
No. My attorney says I shouldn't discuss it. But if you don't have a cashier's check or cash in that amount to me by midnight tonight, we will be discussing it in court.
Hi.
Obviously, I didn't pick a convenient time. But everywhere I've gone this morning, I've gotten messages to contact you. I even got one down in Holding.
Tried to reach you by phone, but you never returned my calls.
Has this got something to do with the case?
No. Actually, it doesn't. Actually, it's about money.
What money?
Well, the car. I had it fixed, but the insurance company won't issue a check for 60 days. I'm sorry to ask, but I could really use the $150 I put out.
I'm sorry. Of course I'll write you a check.
You know, I'd really like to ask you out, but I just can't afford it right now.
It's certainly being honest.
Not a matter of choice.
The honesty?
No. My financial situation.
Yes, I saw the demonstration.
Thank you.
Smart money around the PD's office says Biamonte's. Looking at conviction on all counts, mainly due to your testimony.
Let's hope.
DA's hinted if Biamonte's convicted, might drop charges against my client.
Seems fair.
Got a feeling you might have talked with him.
Oh, I doubt anything I said would change his mind. I don't have that clue.
You might have more clout than you're aware of.
On Sundays, the museum has chamber concerts. They're free. This week it's Mozart quintets.
I'll keep that in mind.
Hey.
Oh, I'm on my break.
Trying to help you. I got degenerates in my own family, and I know the problem.
What?
You're going to deny that you're a degenerate gambler? Every time I look at you, you're trying to make a phone call. You're going to tell me you're not trying to contact the book?
I told you I got a sick relative.
Running in what race?
Now listen, Maggot Mouth, I'm making a phone call.
End the break. Now get back to the meat.
You enjoy this?
What?
I enjoy my work, too.
Hey!
So you'll come again next week.
No guarantees.
If you like pizza,
Is that an invitation?
only if you like it.
And if I like pizza, I'm not so sure. I want to tell you I do.
Why?
Frank, it's too complicated. I'm making my own way now, and I want to keep it that way. Anything else is just too complicated, I'm sorry.
It's only offering pizza.
That's not true. You know, and I know, that's not true.
I don't think your reasons are valid. You're still going out with,
Evan, yes.
Why? Why him and not me?
He's safe. With you, I'm not so sure. Frank, I have to go.
See you in court.
Mr. Tegretti, have you any explanation for the fact that Mr. Biamonte has failed to return from the lunch recess?
Your Honor, I can only imagine Mr. Biamonte is lingering over his biscuit tortoni. I'm certain he'll be here any second.
We have been waiting for half an hour.
Your Honor, Police Inspector Daniels has just received information that Al Biamonte boarded a plane at Hollister Airport and is currently en route to Rome. The state asks that a bench warrant be issued, and if the facts support it, we plan to take immediate action to have Biamonte extradited.
What does that mean for me?
I'm not sure yet. I see it as a crypto-fascist manipulation to redirect the focus of this case towards my client to save your image.
You're absurd.
And didn't you once suggest there could be a reduction of charges?
I only said we were considering.
And what happened to the consideration?
There are certain other priorities.
Of course there are. You need a body to step over on your way to appointment as chief of police, and Mr. Clerk appears to be the ideal corpus. Thank you, gentlemen. Frank never said a word at that meeting.
Crypto-fascist manipulations.
That's the way it seemed at the time.
You were wrong. There wasn't any conspiracy. But remember, Biamonte had just skipped the country. Reducing the charge against his co-defendant did not seem to be in the best interest of good public relations. Maybe I'm the one that should have suspected a conspiracy.
Why is that?
After you left, Frank started to argue against our position. It's not like it was the first time he took a stand opposite to my own. But all of a sudden, he was very strong. He said on the basis of fairness to Leclerc, we should plead him down.
It wasn't a conspiracy. He didn't do it for me.
Maybe not for you, but because of you. It was the first time I saw Frank really starting to emerge. I think you had a lot to do with that.
Excuse me. Well, the plea didn't hurt your PR. You got appointed.
And the first thing I did was promote Frank to captain. I knew what he had in him. It was very special. I saw it right from the beginning. In spite of our differences, the tension caused by recent events, I still see it, even though I don't want to.
We've been getting a lot of crank calls. I've been sorting them out, but there's this one guy. He says he was at the scene. He says he's got something to sell.
Something to sell?
Yeah, name's Sowers. Mr. Sowers.
Mr. Sowers, this is Lieutenant Bunce.
Yeah, I understand you were at the courthouse.
Terrible. I saw it all right through viewfinder of my camera. I'm a professional photographer.
Really?
I've sold to every newspaper in the city. Now maybe I sell to you.
Sell me what?
Sell you what I saw and what I have on film.
Well, let's talk in private.
Drive me away from my dinner table. No respect for family values. I got my mother, she's 84 years old, worried to death about me. Do you think they care?
Get him out of here.
You got no heart, detective. That's the trouble with you. You got no heart.
Biamonte used to move with a guy named Johnny Madden. Now, let's get him in
Hey,
here.
JD, I just talked to the building. They're chasing Biamonte and Lipton. They ain't got nothing either.
I know where I'm going with this, Neil. The shooter's still out there. He's loose. He's
Hey,
after
JD,
us.
listen to me, babe. Just getting yourself crazy,
You
man.
don't understand. I gotta do something. They wouldn't even let me give blood. Now, we gotta take some kind of action. We don't just stand around.
I understand what you feel. It's what I feel. It's what we all feel. But whatever we do, it has to be effective, or else it don't do nobody no good.
I'm professional. I should get paid for pictures I take.
So if it's real, I'll give you $50 and let's see it.
$50?
Or I'll subpoena whatever photo you got and you get nothing.
I can flush it down the toilet and you can subpoena the sewer.
You could also fall down a flight of stairs or out a window.
You are threatening me?
No, I'm just reading your tea leaves, pal, and you're accident prone. Now, I want to see that picture before you break something.
$50?
That's what I said.
I know this guy.
You kidding?
I've seen him too.
Get through here. Let's check the books.
All right.
Hello, Nick.
Hello, Captain. How are you?
Fine, how are you?
I'm all right.
What is the latest news?
I don't know. He's been in surgery for hours. Nobody knows nothing. I gotta go. I'm on an undercover. I'd like to stay, but we gotta make the pop.
Sure, Nick. Sure. Officer Laszlo?
Yes?
I'm Captain Cayetano of the Polk Avenue precinct. Your name tag is on the wrong side of your uniform.
Oh. Well, the kids must have played with it again. Sorry about that.
Next time, be more observant.
Yes, I will. Hey.
It's ridiculous. The statute does not run when you flee the country to avoid prosecution.
His name is Randolph Scripps. He's been arrested 3 times. He was released from the Edgehill Psychiatric Hospital in June.
Why would he shoot Frank?
His earlier arrest involved the attempted murder of a candidate for local office. I guess he read the morning paper. There doesn't seem to be any connection to money.
Well, we've completed surgery. Your husband's on his way back to intensive care.
How is he?
The operation went relatively well, but until his condition stabilizes, it's really very hard to know.
I'd like to be with him. Could you tell the others?
It's not the greatest, but you need some nourishment.
Thank you.
Pizza?
Just a yen.
It's something you send out for, Davy. Fortunately, they don't even have it in restaurants. They especially won't have it at Lubeck's. You're still on for dinner, Rolly.
Sure.
Good. Now let's talk about important things. The firm represents major gay organizations, major feminists.
Evan, it's all just recreation.
Even me? Don't answer that. But the offer, Joyce, the position is real. As a way of advising you, let me tell you why I've always felt that Dr. Albert Schweitzer was a total sellout. First of all, he only made a few very early recordings, so his great mastery of the organ was wasted on an audience that obviously would have preferred the drums.
Evan, would you excuse me for a minute, please?
Well, sure.
Hello?
Hi.
I heard Leclerc's case was dismissed on Fourth Amendment grounds. Congratulations. I'd say he had a hell of an attorney.
I'll be right back. Evan, you are one of the few people I know who can really appreciate outrageous behavior.
I hope this doesn't mean what I think it means.
I'd like to beg out of dinner tonight.
Furillo. Should have known by the longing for pizza.
I have seen this man. He's here in the Midtown police uniform. Nameplate is...
He's here?
Yes.
Look, I'll take Furillo's floor. Tell Goldblum and the others to check all uniforms. If this guy gets our scent, he's gone.
So it began with opera.
My mother was afraid we'd be hit by lightning. My father and I put this huge antenna up on the roof so we could listen to Saturdays at the Met. My father would translate, and then the NBC Symphony, with Toscanini conducting. Before my mother and father were married, my father was in the Merchant Marine, and he told us about these amazing places. When I was a kid, the music was like an illustration of this incredible world he saw. I've never been anywhere, have you?
You mean like Europe?
For a start.
Yeah, I've been there. Some cathedrals, museums. I don't know, actually, I feel like I saw nothing. But I'd like to go back.
It's still there. There's still time. Would you like some more pizza?
No. Let's have coffee at my place.
What time do you suppose it is?
I have no idea why.
Well, I was just wondering if we should try to get some sleep.
Why bother? It's too late to think about sleep.
She's still not tired, huh?
Not tired enough. How about you? I've got the distinct feeling you're not tired enough either. On-call anesthesiologist, ER3. On-call anesthesiologist.
Tenant Hey, officer. It's Scripps! Hey, hold it! Stop that guy! Look out! Look out! Get out of my way! You got him. Yeah. Wasn't that one hell of a shot, huh?
His vital signs seem steady. It's been such a long day for you if you wanted to go home and get some rest.
I think I'll stay.
There's a bed in the nurse's quarters if you want to lie down.
Thank you. Maybe later.